Don't be such a modest guy, Jonathan. Just say that your schedule's really full and you need to cut this short.
Yeah. Reality, I want to go for a walk. Hey, everybody. Jonathan Keel here. I got Noe Tamez. We both work at 6th Street Digital, focusing on technology implementations, especially around Salesforce and commerce. Um, we're excited today to start, our first podcast. But today we're just going to go through and do some intros about, who we are and what this podcast is even going to be about. So first thing I'm going to do is just introduce myself, Jonathan Keel. Been in the technology industry since 2000. Started off working at Walmart and their Walmart.com department, which is now a large website. After that, I worked in financial services and working on large enterprise applications. And then moving on into my career in the Salesforce ecosystem, working on Cloud Craze, which later became Salesforce B2B Commerce, and eventually started 6th Street Digital, joined by Noe Tamez. So, Noe, would you like to introduce yourself as well?
So my name's Noe Tamez. I've also been in IT since 2000. So hence the gray beard. That's what IT for 20 some years does to you. Basically my whole career I've been in development, graduated from college, with a computer information systems degree. So done all kinds of development from Java to .NET. I worked at Walmart to start with when I graduated from college. Jumped over to a Department of Defense contractor here in San Antonio and worked on some IT systems for the Air Force using Java technology. And from there, joined the financial industry, Capital Group, a mutual fund company. And I was there for quite a while and worked in both Java and .NET systems while I was there. And, at that point, Jonathan had left. Jonathan and I actually worked together at Walmart. We actually worked together at Capital Group. But at that point, he had left and eventually started up 6th Street and asked me to join. So that was 11 years ago. Been in the Salesforce ecosystem since then. So 11 years in there. Actually worked on Salesforce projects, did everything from Sales Cloud, Service Cloud, commerce, obviously. That's kind of our sweet spot. And we usually start on this commerce projects and then work on other Salesforce products once we're in there with commerce. And since then, I kind of help, with the technology strategy and delivery. So nice to be here.
All right. Well, maybe we can start off explaining to everyone who's watching this, why we're doing this and, what our goals are for this podcast. And I guess I'll maybe start off giving like my thoughts on it. And I'm sure this will be it'll change over time like everything does. And then maybe you give your thoughts as well, like what you'd like to see us, discuss and everything. But I'll just start off saying, when Noe and I met and talked about this idea of doing a video podcast like everyone sees nowadays, but in at least the Salesforce ecosystem, a lot of the ones at least I see are very focused on the technology side. Maybe they're going through doing demos of how maybe of flows work and how to build them, or maybe doing some discussions about how they implemented a project, and that's all cool too. But Noe and myself, when we have internal discussions here at the company, we talk about a lot of things, and not just the technology side, but we'll have discussions on like world events, the markets, policy, and how that affects our business, but also how it affects our customers' businesses, because we'll get customers that come to us and they know what their goals are, but sometimes they're not sure how to get there, and so we partner with them in doing so. So it's not just the technology side we think about, it's a lot of the other aspects of the world. And yeah, I don't know. So we thought that, for this podcast, we'll discuss kind of the culmination of all that together. I don't know if you want to kind of give your thoughts on that as well, your flavor of it.
Yeah, well, I mean, when I think of Sixth Street, I think of kind of our culture. I feel like we're close knit. I feel like we like not only talk about the technology, but there's a lot of different factors that drive the decisions around that. And when Jonathan started kind of talking about doing this podcast, I was like, well, this might be an interesting way where people that don't normally get to work with us can kind of see where that comes from, right? Where do these ideas, where does this culture come from? Because I feel like it, like the whole company embraces that. And so, like Jonathan mentioned, I've seen a lot of other podcasts and they've actually been very helpful. That's how I learn and stay up to date on Salesforce, seeing the actual technical implementation of all these different things. But I wanted something like Jonathan mentioned, something different where it's like, yeah, we'll talk about Salesforce, we'll talk about the ecosystem, but I also think there's so many other things in play that kind of drive that narrative forward. So yeah, I just thought like, yeah, it's a nice opportunity to sit down. Maybe we'll have other people join us from the company or outside the company and just have these conversations that are, focused more at the macro level of what's going on, in our industry versus maybe like the specifics of what's happening in commerce. How do you do this PLP? How do you do this PDP? Kind of bring it up a notch.
Yeah, I like that. The first topic we're going to start off with to showcase kind of the culmination of like industry plus technology is back on January 22nd, Marc Benioff, the Salesforce CEO, he made a statement in the news that today's CEOs will be the last with all human workforces. And those of you that probably follow Marc, he's really used the term like a digital labor. And Noe and I have watched some of his conferences where he talks about this. So now he's thinking, more of these agents that their agent force product that they're pushing out in the market or have pushed out in the market, and the idea of agentic AI. And he's kind of just saying that right now, in the past, I guess CEOs they had to think about their all the HR, the humans, and how you manage everybody, right? How you manage your organization. And he's basically saying, hey, the future is, we're going to have this mix, this hybrid of, not only the humans, but these agents that are going to be, somewhere in the future, somewhat autonomous maybe. But we'll see. But anyway, I'm sure like the idea of digital labor and have sort of talking about that equally with like, human labor is a little bit of a could be controversial for some people, but I don't know. What did you think when you saw this article? Like, what popped out to you?
Yeah, well, I think exactly what you just said, right? I don't know, like probably all of you out there, I end my day, I eat my dinner, and I get on my phone, and my phone knows me so well, so it starts serving up these articles, and this one popped up, and as soon as I saw it, it was like one of those catchy, controversial titles, right? Where it's like today's CEOs are the last that will kind of be over an all human workforce, and instead it'll be like that hybrid of human and AI agents. And I started reading it, and at first I was thinking like, wow, that's, are we really going there? Is that a marketing thing? Is that really going to happen? Because I was thinking in terms of like, are we really going to be able to take full positions, full roles out of a company and have these AI agents do that? I don't think I think eventually at some point that'll happen. I don't think that this article is talking about that. I think maybe like more small segments of what people do. I could see that. There's some repeatable, maybe mundane stuff that people do today. Not It's not their full day, but maybe there's some times of their day where people are doing these things, and I could see that maybe an AI agent taking that over and maybe automating that a bit. But I don't know. I felt it was a little sensational, but the more I thought about it, I was like, yeah, I guess I could see that. In this year, next year, that could definitely happen. Where these small little segments, but uh, years down the road, I don't know. I'm sure that it could start replacing people, but I think it's still early. I don't know. Don't you think, Jonathan? It seems like it's early, right now to start thinking about replacing full positions of people.
I think so. I while you were talking, I was reading through the same article. It was on Axios, by the way. And Marc Benioff said that he's thinking of ways to, quote, redeploy support agents in sales positions because these employees, quote, don't have much to do because Agentforce is so productive for them. Um, and well, again, it sounds a little sensational, but I haven't yet seen any sort of agent, even outside of Salesforce, that's 100%. At least I know they're autonomous, like you can have things run like on your desktop or whatever, but to let them just go off unsort of controlled or unmonitored, I don't think that's something we're going to see very soon. I had a conversation with one of our clients here at Sixth Street. They're asking, what's the future look like? What can we do with AI? And this is my opinion. My opinion is, like here at Sixth Street, we talk about, one of our focuses is e-commerce, but in reality, it's not really about e-commerce. It's really about, automating things, right? So we do a lot of the B2B commerce, which is really about offloading work from people onto like a self-service type of portal. So then, right, humans can go interact and buy things, right? So as part of that, we have to automate a lot of things because the reason it was never offloaded into like a B2B commerce portal before is because the processes are very manual. So we already do a lot of like automation without AI, and there's a lot of companies out there that could really benefit from that. And then maybe some people out there that are listening have heard, there's just normal automation, and then there's AI, but there's a place in the middle, right? Trying to remember the term nowadays, like is it agentic workflows or AI automation? AI automation. I don't remember the exact phrase at the
Yeah.
time. Basically, it's the idea that you're still doing automation, but there's maybe parts of automation where in the past you said, well, we have to have a human do this piece. So we're going to offload it to human. They'll do something, they'll interact, and they'll go back into the automation workflow and so on and so forth. So really, I think the thing that's most helpful now for companies, instead of looking at AI as this panacea of like, oh, I can switch over to digital labor and get off of and replace humans with AI. I really think it's more about looking at what everyone's used to in the past, like just looking at workflows and seeing, well, this part we had to have a human step in to do part of it, and then went back into automation and seeing where in those workflows can you use AI to sort of do some of that for you. That's my opinion of like where we're at today. And I think, too many companies are trying to look out like, oh, what's possible. And they think AI is not all, it's not all the way ready. So then they sort of take a step back and say, well, I'm not going to touch it right now. It's not ready. But in reality, I think there are aspects that can be used today as long as people think of it more in the workflow automation sense rather than like replacing a person.
Yeah. Like supplement tasks instead of like just trying to do the whole outfit all at once.
Yep.
Yeah. I don't know. Is there anything here at Sixth Street that comes to mind that we should look into an AI agent to do? Because that's you touched on something, right? That's I think the lines are getting blurred because I saw this on LinkedIn. I can't remember who originally posted this, so this is not my original idea, but someone was making sure like, hey, there is a clear distinction between just automation, which you don't need AI to do automation, versus an AI agent that can kind of make decisions on its own and autonomously do some work. Um, so now, I think even within our own company, we need to start figuring out like where should we look into doing some of this stuff, because we want to spend most of our time working with our customers and our clients, not doing the in-house operations, the back office stuff for Sixth Street.
Yeah. The way I think about again, we focus on like kind of the B2B, like business to business side of the house on things. I'm not, I'm not talking about just, commerce, but, a lot of our clients are like, manufacturing or distribution, for example. Even if they're in retail, we're usually working with them along with their partners on how they sell or ship or integrate with other systems, right? And the one thing I think about B2B, it's a lot of it's based on relationships. People like to work with people or other companies where they know them, they trust them. It's a little bit different, right? When you're just sort of going online to buy like a product. I think in that sense, you don't know who a person there, like Amazon, you don't know a person at Amazon, but you maybe like the brand and you go out there, you like the ease, right? But when it comes to businesses, they want to have some sort of relationship. So I think, like first you asked a question about Sixth Street. I mean, when I look at Sixth Street, we're a B2B business, right? We work with other businesses. We talk with them. We ask them like, what are their goals for the year? Like today, what's the long-term goal? Like 2 years, 3 years, 5 years out. And we then go in and assess like their systems, right? What are some problems they're running into? How many people they have working in sales or marketing or the digital side, and really try to find those places where they could automate things. But at the end of the day, like, humans want to work with humans. Nobody wants to jump on a phone, I don't think, and talk to an AI agent, right? I'm saying?
Or to
So
press zero right away.
press zero, press zero right away. Yeah, so people, again, maybe on the B2C side, people don't want to do that either, but I think they're okay with it. But when it comes to businesses, right, you want to talk to a person most of the time. And then the other times you don't want to talk to me, like, well, I could just do this myself. I don't need to bother whoever. So anyway, I don't want to ramble too much, but my thoughts around at least the B2B side, just businesses that sell to other businesses. Did you not use AI, and automation with AI in a way to enable you to have more time to talking to your customers and building those relationships? That's how I look at it. Like when I talk to our clients and talk about commerce, the B2B commerce side, all it really is, for example, is just explain to them, because sales teams get really nervous, right? Oh, if they're just going to the website and they're just buying stuff, why do I need a salesperson, right? There's this fear that then the sales team will get fired, whatever. But that never really happens. Like what really happens is we take that work that they were having to do manually. They're spending all this time doing paperwork and they're putting in orders and, they're figuring out quotes and whatever else. And we're like putting that into a very simplified automated system. So someone can just go log in and say, I need to reorder what I got last time, right? Or I need to make some adjustments and order whatever I need. And then that salesperson, they can spend more time either finding more accounts by talking to real people or nurturing the accounts they do have, right? Because they're not doing all that busy work. They can actually have those human interactions. So to me, anyway, I think when I look at AI and even for Sixth Street, it's trying to find ideas. I mean, I have ideas, but I'm, around how we could use it here, to basically just to have more human interaction and all that busy work we have to do, that's kind of taken care of, if that makes sense. That's sort of my ideas. And some of the things we're moving towards internally, but it takes time because you got to make sure the technology is ready as well.
Yeah. I mean, the concept's no different than our background in development, right? We're developers because we wanted to take mundane tasks that were repeatable and, why have someone do that over and over again when you can kind of automate that? So it's just kind of going to the next level with these AI agents.
Mm-hmm. Uh, since this is the first recording we've done so far, we don't want to keep it too long. So we'll probably pick up this topic and other topics as well in the future recordings. And all we wanted to do for this first recording is just give people an idea of who we are and what our purpose and goals are for this podcast. So I really appreciate everyone's time and listening to this today. And so if you do us a favor, if you can just like and subscribe to our podcast and help spread the word, we'd really appreciate it. So thanks.